Good evening, everybody. Thank you for sharing your evening with me on tonight. My name is Deandra Sanders, and this is my TED Talk. Tonight, we're going to talk about organizational communication in recruiting. I know many of you all have applied for jobs over the years, and either you read the job posting and you understood it completely, or the communication wasn't clear and you didn't know what you were applying for. You thought you were applying for a CEO position and you ended up as a fry cook. But I'm getting ready to help you through this. We're going to transition through this wonderfully. On tonight, we're going to talk about professionalism, creative insight, and teamwork. All of this is going to have to do with recruiting and communicating successfully. Now, this is the job posting that I found on Indeed. As you can see, it's a clear and concise messaging. You know what you're applying for. You know what the skills are. What your education, the education requirement is. It requires Spanish, and it pays. Well, I thought the pay was on there, but the pay was on there. I think I clipped it off, but the pay is on there. You know where it's located. Very clear. You know what's going on. Ready to apply, go ahead and apply. But we need to, as recruiters, we need to make sure that the messaging is clear and concise. We need to make sure that it's timely and transparent. Personalized engagement, active listening and responsiveness, and leveraging technology for efficiency. So basically all that is saying is that when we're recruiting, we need to listen to you and hear what you're saying and make sure that we're responding correctly. We need to make sure that our messaging is clear and concise, that you understand the position you're applying for. And then we need personalized engagement. I'm not going to say applicant number 237. I'm going to call you by your name. So, and lastly, timely and transparent communication. Not going to talk to you about a position that we applied that we had open last week and is now closed. Or it's sometimes it's good to say that there's a future position opening when you know for a fact when it's coming and if the applicant is qualified for it. But why would I tell you about a future position and you're not qualified for it? Or I'm not even sure when it's going to be open. Now, this is the job that I applied for, and they were unprofessional. The communication wasn't clear. I thought I was applying for one position, and when I got there, it was something totally different. So, as you see, they want customer service. They want customer service managers. They said they're needed. They said you can make up to $20 an hour. All you need is organizational skills, customer service skills, and computer skills. That's all they said they needed. Everything else they listed. And then over here, this is what they said the job description is. Customer service experience, computer skills, and exceptional organizational skills. 8-hour shift, the benefits, work location, in person. So that basically means it's not remote or hybrid. That's what they said. That's not what it was. They sent me, when I applied, they sent me, everything was through text, which is fine. That's what companies are doing now. And they sent me a text, they scheduled the interview, and they said, be here at 8:30. I was there at 8:30. Well, I was there a little bit before 8:30. They gave me a paper, one sheet application to complete. I did that. I sat there, there was no signs up, no name of the company, nothing that let you know what the company was or what they did. It was nothing there. And so I sat there for an hour before they called me back. By the time I'm going to be honest, by the time I walked in, I knew it was one of those marketing firms where they send you out into Walmart, Target, well, not Target, I've never experienced that in Target, Walmart, Kroger, those stores, and you hear somebody tell you about energy companies or your wireless company, your internet company, they want you to switch. This one was an indirect marketing firm for healthcare. So they wanted me to go out to the public and get people to switch their health insurance. Didn't say anything about that. The gentleman took me, we finally found an empty interview room after going up 2 or 3 floors. And when he sat me down, he asked me, do you know anything about marketing? I said, absolutely. I said, I used to have my own business. And then he was like, well, then he began to explain the difference between direct marketing and indirect marketing. He didn't listen to me. He actually asked me twice how was my drive there, because he wasn't listening to me, not actively listening, and didn't respond to me correctly. So I know you know this guy. This is a show, Martin. This is Tommy from Martin. Remember, they used to always say, you ain't got no job, man. I know one episode when Cole said he went to go pick Tommy up, he said he pulled up, he went to the address, he pulled up to a black building with no windows and no doors, and he said all of a sudden Tommy disappeared out of nowhere. They didn't know what Tommy did. Tommy even said that his job was hiring, and Cole applied for the job. He didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know how much money he was making. He didn't even know if he even had a job. So, creative insight. Creative insight involves thinking beyond the traditional hiring method. It's easy to post a job online. It's easy to go on Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, any of the other ones, and post a job there. It's even easy to put it on social media. You can put it on Facebook, Instagram, and I think I've seen them on TikTok. But you can post, it's easy. But sometimes you got to think outside the box if you want to hire the correct talent, even in the type of posting that you present. So you can use social media, but beware of social media. Gamification, that's when basically you use a game like Kahoot when they're doing the assessments. If you never played Kahoot, it's fun. AI and technology-driven information. Today, in this day and time, if you go on Indeed and you apply for a job, one of the questions it asks is it okay, or do you agree to let AI review your resume? Now, that could be a blessing and a curse, because we don't know what AI looks for. And a lot of times people are turned down for jobs that they qualify for because technology has reviewed their application or their resume. Unique candidate engagement strategies, that's just how you draw the people through open houses or through webinars. And then employee branding and storytelling. And that's basically when you bring employees into the interview and you allow them to tell their story about how they ended up working with the company. So that's creative insight. Thinking outside the box, because you want to attract top talent. And we get to a familiar topic of teamwork. Got to work together as a team. We can't, only one person, it can't only be one person that makes the decision. Human resources is a big department. It includes recruiting, training and development, then benefits, and payroll are extensions of human resources. And then after you're hired, human resources handles all of your information. They hold your file. If you need FMLA, if you're going to be on long-term or short-term disability, or you need a leave of absence, that's where human resources steps in. Human resources step in, so we all work together. Now, teamwork plays a crucial role in recruiting, enhancing efficiency, collaboration, and the overall hiring experience. That includes the hiring approach, information sharing, improved candidate experience, and streamlined decision making. So basically, we have to work together as a team. We have, in recruiting, multiple resumes come in, and you have to break it up into a team, and everybody takes so many resumes. They go over it, they interview the candidates, they pick their top 5, and then everybody come together and maybe collaborate and see who's out of everybody's top 5, see who maybe the top 3 out of those top 5 are. I know that a while back I applied for a job as an office manager. The young lady whose position was opening up, I think she was going on maternity leave. I know she was going somewhere. And when I was being interviewed, the recruiter told me, she said that they had narrowed it down to 120 resumes. Can you imagine that? Now for one position, narrowing it down to 120 resumes. So the organizational communication in recruiting is very important and it's crucial in the hiring process. You have to communicate. When you apply for a job, you should know what the position is. You should know what the qualifications are. You should know what the education is. You should know what the responsibilities are, the days you have to work, and how much you're getting paid. I suggest that you go, when you're looking for a job, you look at all of that information before you even consider applying. The human resources coordinator position at the beginning, I qualified for everything except one thing, and it required me to speak Spanish because that was my Indeed profile. That was from my Indeed profile. And you saw it had Spanish in red, had a circle and a line through it because I don't speak Spanish. Not right now, but I don't speak Spanish. Communication goes both ways, from the recruiter and from the prospective employee. My name is Deandra Sanders, and this was my TED Talk.